mask off was a big mistake. Now you're just a man, Bruce. You can't scare anyone anymore.
If I'm going to stop this killer, I should analyze the body I found on the rooftop of the Gotham Herald.
Okay, we'll join a couple of rides, but I can't be out all night. It's my turn.
Alfred, I found a mutilated body, but this isn't the one Cash told me about. I'm going to try and establish a cause of death. Blood tests reveal the cause of death was an overdose of painkillers leading to cardiac arrest. Also, the victim's fingerprints have been burned off with acid.
A rather unsavory demise.
That's not all. It's as though the subject's DNA has been corrupted somehow. There's insufficient information for me to cross-reference the database. I'll have to use the deep tissue scanner to analyze the body for distinguishing features and determine the victim's identity.
Right you are, sir.
Scar tissue on the upper arm. I recognize the pattern. 20 years ago, this was a badge of honor among inmates at Blackgate Penitentiary. A small group of racketeers known as the Bloodhaven Six. Remnants of a pacemaker fitted through the right ventricle. If I cross-reference the manufacturer with the pacing method, it will help to narrow the search. Clear signs of bone deformation on the victim's knee. Joint line sclerosis points to juvenile arthritis, a rare and debilitating condition. Alfred, I've ID'd the victim as Franklin Accardo.
His records are a litany of drug-related offenses, sir. In and out of prison from an early age. He was serving a 20-year sentence at Blackgate before being released early on grounds of ill health due to a heart condition. He moved to Little Rock, Arkansas, which is where he was reported missing.
What's unusual is that they didn't go missing in Gotham. They were brought here and killed. Why? We need to track down whoever did this.
Might I suggest keeping an ear out for any more of that ghastly opera music? It sounds ominously like a calling card.
Ah, My social experiment continues. Somewhere nearby is a cruel, vicious thug with a microbomb rammed right where his sense of refinement should be. Microbomb. But why am I even telling you? We both know there's no point in rescuing people like him.
The remote Batarang will let me scan for Riddler's victim without getting close. There's Riddler's victim.
Well, this is perfect, ain't it? Now we got a bat with nothing to lose. It's the freaking bat! Batman! It's Batman! Militia don't scare me. This is our city. We get to terrorize it. No one else.
You saved him. How heroic. Perhaps his next victim will write you a thank you letter.
Thank you.
I'm going to investigate the body I found overlooking Divinity Churchyard. There's a killer at large. He must be stopped.
So did Scarecrow win? He looked pretty beat to me. Yeah, but he wanted to destroy me.
Alfred, I found another body. The mutilation pattern looks to be identical to the previous murder victim.
Then it appears Gotham does indeed have a serial killer in its midst. And here I was thinking this evening couldn't get any worse.
I'm going to scan the body for unique identifiers.
There he is! It's Batman!
This wound is relatively fresh, inflicted while the victim was still alive. Abrasion to the epidermal layers confirms the somewhat crude removal of a tattoo. The position of this scar indicates the victim underwent surgery to remove one of their kidneys. A plate made of tantalum. used here for a cranial fracture, most probably the result of a boxing accident. The victim's callous knuckles would only be acquired by a professional fighter. Alfred, the victim's name is Ella Montgomery.
It appears the kidney was donated to a twin sister who unfortunately died. This seems to have been the catalyst for her boxing pursuits, and hence the cranial injury. She went missing in Huntsville, Alabama.
Another person taken from outside the Gotham area.
A significant detail, sir.
So are these words written beside the bodies. Try and find a connection between the two victims I've found, Alfred. There has to be something linking them together.
I'll try my best, sir.
I'm going to stop this killer. Investigating the body I found on the rooftop of the Heavenly nightclub will help me track him down.
Whatever else happens tonight, guys, I want you to know this was the best Halloween ever.
Alfred, we can add a third victim to the list.
This is becoming rather ghastly, sir. It brings to mind a spate of murders at the beginning of your career. It was Halloween then, if I'm not mistaken. Turned out to be rather a long one, if I recall.
I'm going to try and identify the body.
An irregularity on the victim's chest. It appears to be a birthmark, quite distinctive. There's a bullet lodged deep in the upper bicep. This type of ammunition is predominantly used with a hunting rifle that hasn't been manufactured in over a decade. The left foot is missing several toes. The site of amputation suggests the removal of non-viable tissue in the treatment of frostbite.
Alfred, I've ID'd the victim as Robert Kincaid.
He was a microbiologist who worked for Stag Enterprises. Many believe the shooting was connected to Kincaid's knowledge of controversial research, although that remains unverified. He took a teaching post in Atlanta, which is where he was reported missing.
That's 3 victims, all of them abducted in various places around the country. Keep looking for a connection, Alfred.
Right you are, sir.
The writing by the bodies suggests the killer has a higher purpose. It's as if these weren't good enough for what he has in mind.
Do you think there are other victims?
Yes, and I don't know what he has planned for them. Investigating the body I discovered on the rooftop of Ted's Electronics will help track the killer. He's still out there and needs to be stopped.
Batman over our fair city. Oh, that's right. They're unsolved riddles.
Alfred, I found a 4th victim.
Highly regrettable, Master Bruce. All we can do is hope this body yields some clues as to the killer's identity.
I've seen that pattern of scar tissue before. It's a bite mark. Analyzing its radius points to a species of Selachomorpha. This particular variety of shark is only found in the waters off the coast of North Gotham. The victim is fitted with an ocular prosthesis. This specific type of medical-grade acrylic was used only once during a trial 5 years ago. Signs of trauma to the upper arm. At some point, titanium screws have been implanted to repair a fractured humerus. Alfred, the victim's name is Lisa Mendez.
She had quite a troubled upbringing, sir. Orphaned age 9, foster homes, drug abuse. She developed a talent for surfing, hence the shark attack. Tragically, it's also how she lost her boyfriend. She was working for a Christian charity in Tucson, Arizona, when she went missing.
Have you found anything linking the victims?
I can find no personal or professional links between the victims, but they each went missing near state parks or playing fields.
Try and find anything connecting those places.
Of course, sir. I'll look into it.
Someone killed, mutilated, and posed a body on Merchant Bridge. If I'm going to stop them, then I need to investigate the crime scene for clues.
I bet I could take these militia guys. Let's hit a liquor store next. He's on our tail! Outrun that thing! Come on, lose him! If we don't find something soon, I'm punching you in the face.
Alfred, I found a fifth victim.
I feared you would, sir.
Deformity on the left ear. Looks like a result of minor ear agenesis, a birth defect. A wedding ring in the lower intestine. The inscription reads, Ophelia. The victim had a hip replacement. Scar tissue hasn't fully healed, so it must have been recent.
Alfred, the victim's name is Anthony Lund. Hospital records show he suffered with alcoholism, most probably brought on by the breakdown of his marriage. The name on the ring, Ophelia, his ex-wife. He was last seen in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Do the details of the disappearance match with the others?
They do indeed, sir. Also, your request to cross-reference the parks and playing fields has proved fruitful. I've come across some leasing documentation that appears to have been falsified. Someone is attempting to cover their tracks.
Find out anything you can, Alfred. We couldn't have done anything to prevent these deaths, but we can still save others. The killer is mutilating and posing his victims and then putting them on display.
He left opera music playing at the crime scene. He wants them to be found.
So hang on. If Batman is Bruce Wayne, then who's been playing Bruce Wayne all this time? Dead bodies, tanks, mass evacuations. I love Gotham at night. Bat needs to die already. I can't believe no one's taken him out yet. some new kid comes along saying he's gonna kill the bat. And does he kill the bat? He don't kill the bat. Exactly. You'd think they'd know better by now.
Contributed to the ongoing redevelopment of Founders Island by filling it with riddles. When you die trying to solve them, I will generously allow the city to transform my creations into public exhibits.
So what Scarecrow's gone down? We weren't taking orders from that freak anyway. Come on, man. $50. Pay up. Come on. It's not like you guessed it was Wayne. You're the one who put money on him being an alien refugee from a dying planet. I could have sworn I heard that before. You know, I saw my folks get whacked when I was a kid, too. See me getting all self-righteous about it.